Donald Trump very briefly touched down in California to pretend that he cared about the wildfires. But we're gonna show you some video of the little summit he had with some California state politicians, as well as Wade Crowfoot, California's Natural Resources Secretary, who did his best to get through to Donald Trump that the solution to California's wildfires is not exclusively raking the forests. And this is how Donald Trump responded to it.
And we're seeing this warming trend make our summers warmer, but also our winters warmer as well. So I think one area of mutual agreement and priority is vegetation management. But I think we want to work with you to really recognize the changing climate and what it means to our forests and actually work together with that science. That science is going to be key, because if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay, it'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Hey, well, I don't think science knows, actually. Tom, please.
Science doesn't know anything. Science is a philosophy. It's a framework to getting closer to the truth. It's the best that we've ever had as a species. It does not always lead us in the right direction. It's fallible because it's led by humans who are fundamentally and fairly obviously fallible in a number of different ways. But that's the best bet we have. And Gary, imagine being in that room, being, like a governor of a state that's on fire where, dozens of people have died, or being one of the scientists in the room, desperately trying to get through to this guy that thinks that rakes are all they're needed. And to have him just say, I don't think science knows. I don't care, whatever. It'll cool down. It'll cool down eventually. You know what? It's on fire now. It'll cool down. There's a reason I'm not in that room, because I think I would have rushed him and jumped over that table and body tackled him out of his chair, because I can't take it. I just can't take it.
And the Secret Service would have dealt with you quite swiftly.
Probably.
I'm sure most people would like. No, I'm not gonna say most people. There are many people who would like to jump across the table on Trump. I think the real question to us in this moment is, how far are we going to let this go, right? Are we going to let this guy continue to just take us into the abyss, to this dark cloud that is his mind, rather than just say, you know what? Sometimes, guy, you go too far, right? And the minute you begin to say, I don't think science knows. No, we know you don't know. We know you don't know, and we should not listen to you when it comes to talking about the climate or much of anything. If we're honest, the guy doesn't read the briefings that he gets. He spews out whatever he wants to say on a whole. This is the guy who said, well, maybe bleach, right?
Yeah.
That inject UV rays from the sun into our bloodstream or something. This is that guy. Right? And to believe that there are still millions of Americans, right, who are saying, that's the guy I want to follow. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand it. Like, my mind cannot comprehend that level of stupidity, right? There's not a tax incentive in the world that's worth following a jackass.
I don't know. Some of these people are really rich and they seem to be doing pretty well. But he doesn't know. Nobody, like, to be in that room and looking at that guy and thinking, I have to do what I have to praise him or stroke his ego, whatever I can do to get him to just accept a little bit of the science, because he doesn't know anything. He will never, ever learn anything. He'll never read anything. He tweeted today, or I think he said it on Fox and Friends. He said that I read Bob Woodward's book real fast. I didn't like it. Who thinks he read it? Honestly,
the guy did not.
No, and by the way, I didn't either, but I'm not claiming that I did on Twitter. Like, what Trump supporter thinks, he woke up, he had a banana, and then he sat down and he flipped through the book reading it. Nobody thinks that, and you don't follow Donald Trump because you think he reads. You're just fine with lying because you've given up on the truth. And it's one of the times that, like, the words that we have in the English language are sort of too vague sometimes, because, for instance, I believe that the climate is changing. Okay, so that word believe means a variety of things. I have myself done research. I have been exposed to the research of a wide variety of people who've made it their life's work to learn as much as possible. I've literally traveled to the Arctic with climate change scientists, gone off on a boat to do their experiments in the ocean near the North Pole. Like, believe means a lot of things. When one of his followers says, I don't believe it's happening, what does believe mean in that context? Is it the result of research, of difficult critical thinking, of exposing yourself to a lot of, no, it just means, I don't care. Like, I like that Trump is telling off those Democrats and those scientists. And indeed, if you look at some of the replies of videos of that exchange, his followers loved him saying science doesn't know, talking about him telling off the lab coats and things like that, how it's been a long time coming because scientists are the new priests of the left's religion and things like that. It's not that they believe other facts, that we've come to different conclusions. They don't care about coming to conclusions, and they certainly don't care about facts. And again, it leaves me feeling sort of powerless to do anything. Like, and the consequences are so high.
Talk to the people in Southwest Louisiana who just dealt with Hurricane Laura.
Yeah.
Had 2 hurricanes in the same week in the Gulf for the first time in history, right? We just had Sally that's touching ground today somewhere between Mississippi and Louisiana. When you talk about the 3 or 4 other storms that are out there in the Atlantic Ocean that are barreling towards America right now in September, right? I have lived in Louisiana almost all of my life and the other 5 years in Florida. So I've lived my entire existence in hurricane country. And what I can tell you is that we're getting more of them, they're getting stronger, they're faster, and they're more damaging than ever before. And when you talk to the people in Southwest Louisiana, where they still don't have power weeks after the storm, when you talk to the people who've lost their homes, that they don't know how they're gonna recover. In Baton Rouge, we had the Great Flood in 2016, where over 60% of our community flooded that had to recover, right? Those are federal dollars that go to aid to help these families recover. But if we were smart and we took climate change serious, we would do the hard work of doing the work to reduce our climate so that we didn't have to rebuild homes and families all over this country because we have irresponsible leadership. And Donald Trump is just the tip of the iceberg because the Republican Party, Mitch McConnell and his cronies, right, are not pushing the science and saying, you know what, regardless of what this guy does, we're gonna build policy that's smart for the American people. We're gonna do the things that are in the best interest of our children and our grandchildren so that they have a planet to have, to inherit it, rather than one that's on fire or underwater.
Yeah, and look, pretty much any Republican is gonna agree wholeheartedly with Trump on all of these issues. The issue too, though, is that not enough Democrats are, like, they will acknowledge these things, I guess, but will they do what's necessary to stop them? Generally not. Like, I'm in California, my governor, is saying, like, he's tweeting photos of the fires and the fact that we look like we're on Mars. Is he banning fracking though? Like, is he actually doing what he could do or even advocating for it? I'm not saying he could unilaterally do it, but lots of Democrats, unfortunately, still aren't taking it as, they think they're taking it more seriously, I think, but not nearly enough. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.